So, okay, right now it's not doing it very well, but the thing is, let me zoom way in. If I start my line command, and if I point, notice what my cursor is doing right now. See what it's doing? It's hopping from point to point. Every intersection, it's finding it, and I cannot force the cursor to go in any other, I cannot force the cursor to go in between any of those points. It's forced to go to the point. I'm just turning off my alarm here so it's not distracting. I have to take my meds at 8 o'clock. Addiction's a terrible thing. I'm kidding. It's a great line. Okay, okay, so I go like this, and so you're hopping from point to point, and so you'll notice that it's doing this right now. Now, what if I want to pick a point that's not there? What if I want to pick a point that's not an intersection? What do I do then? Well, I'm kind of screwed because I'm using this snap and grid. So what I would do is, first of all, if I turn off snap, well, snap loosens that up. Snap will turn that off, okay? If I leave that on, though, I'm jumping from grid to grid. So let's say I pick on this point right here. Well, it's great if I'm doing stair steps, you know, or something, a ziggurat, or a lot of different shapes like that. However, the Guardian building in Detroit. But if I'm not doing something that requires this, and I need to do something that kind of goes off the grid literally, well, then at that point, I am really not going to be too happy with using snap and grid all the time. So what some of you are finding out is you're trying to put in a value, and you're trying to place it someplace and keep on snapping. But if you turn off the snap, well, now you know where you want it. That's how snap and grid work. Again, this is not object snap, this is just normal snap. Snap is recognizing a grid environment. If this is turned on and your cursor is doing this, your snap's on, you need to turn it off because that's just getting in your way. This is snap, right down here, snap mode. So you turn that off and turn that off. Just for, you know, just you guys understand what's going on there. So that's snap and grid. I leave them off what we're doing here. It's actually kind of helpful when you first start to learn AutoCAD, but we've already kind of jumped in without it, so let's just leave it alone. So make sure those two are turned off. Now, to draw another line, I'm going to start with my line command here, and I'm going to go right here. I just use a polyline. Now, I want to draw my first line from the upper left corner going to the right, where it says 7 foot 4 inches. Do we see that? All right. So when I touch it here, and I want to go over 7 foot 4 inches, I just drag my cursor. I'm getting a tracking vector. Do we see that? See that tracking vector? And I type in 7 foot 4, boom, and there's that point. And then how far do I take it out? Well, let's see here. How far do I take it out? Well, it's 9 feet 7 on the interior there, plus I have to add 5. So 9 foot 7 plus 5 would be what? 9 foot 7 inches, and we add 5 inches. What do we have? 10 feet. So we go 10 feet. So 10 feet will bring us out to here. Now at this point, I've got that first line, and then I can just start to follow it over. Now it tells me right here, looks like I'm missing a dimension there. Where is that dimension? Looks like that's kind of going away. Well, that's okay. We can just go. We can do it. Yeah, that dimension's missing. We can definitely piece this together. But for right now, let's go. We'll go over. Yeah, that's blank. It should be blank. Okay. Okay, for that point right there, let me get you that dimension because you're going to need it. All right, go to this. All right, this. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that drawing and let's see this in. Okay, the distance is actually 9 foot 7 this direction too. So write that down. Get a piece of paper and write that down. That dimension is 9 foot 7. Okay, so it's 9 foot 7 on the interior of your drawing. So glad you found that. So it's 9 foot 7 from here to here. You're going to need that. So that's the dimension I just want to give you. So if I go back to here and continue to draw, I'm going to go over not 9 foot 7 because I actually have to add on 5 inches. So again, 9 foot 7 plus 5 inches is what? 10 feet. So 10 feet here. Boom. So that brings me down to this point. Question?
Yes. Oh, you're doing the out.
I'm doing the outside. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You got me. And so it's 10 to 5. You're right. because you're talking 9'7", plus 5 is 10, plus 5 is another 5. So it's 10'5", exterior. Okay, so 10'5", very good. And then if I want to, I can just bring my cursor down here and close off that wall just because I don't know what my next dimension is. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Now moving on from there, if I want to start from here, I put my cursor here and drag it over to the left. And how far would I go over to the left to get this inside wall? I'm going from the upper right over. You see where it says 10'2"? You guys see it at the upper right there? Okay, that's 10'2". So I'm going to go 10 feet 2, okay? And then I go ahead and come down this, and the distance here is going to be 13 feet 11. Coming off the drawing here, and I go like that. Now that gives me the basic geometry, and then I can just offset those two walls, because I know they're 5. So I can go ahead and offset this distance, and since I didn't make it a polyline, I have to do it that way, but that's okay. So that gives me my basic construction. Now my next wall, I know that I got to offset this one now, 5 inches, and I got to go over this way because I did the exterior, and so I've got to go ahead and go in here to get this. Okay, and you just got to pay attention to where the lines are coming from, where they're originating, and so forth. And now this is going to be 8 feet coming from here. Again, I'm just kind of going through it. And you guys are gonna, you guys can draw this in a different kind of way if you want to. But this is just how I have found it to be easy to do. Okay, and then at this point, if I've done it correctly, I'm gonna start my trim command, and I'm gonna do the nuclear option, and enter, and then I can go ahead and just start to get rid of some of these to kind of clean it up. All right, and keep going like this and like that. Okay, kind of clean up that a little bit, clean up some of these areas, because your walls should always go right through. So there's your basic outline right there. Now let's verify that it's correct. So I'm going to go to here and go to dimensions, and let's measure a couple of these and make sure that they're right. So we're linear, and let's go from here to here, and that's 9'9", so that is not right. So we have to fix that. And let's look at this next one. This one's supposed to be 9'7". Let's see if that's right. That's right. And then this one should be 5'10", and that's 6'3". So I missed something here. I missed this wall right here. So this wall right now actually needs to go over from 5'10", needs to go over 3 inches. Let's see, how does that work?
Oh, it's off by 5 inches.
Yeah, we're off by 5 inches. So let's see, so it's like 9'9". Let's see here, yeah, this place, let's check this out. Let's try, decode this. And that's not, let me check this out, let me check this out again. 7, 5'10", 10'2". Okay, make sure I got this. All right, so that's one of them. Now we do this one. Okay, 9'7". Make sure I got this right.
You offset on the wrong side, on the right side of the bathroom.
What was that on?
You did the offset on the wrong side of the line on the right side of that middle bathroom.
Oh, this right here? Oh, okay, gotcha, okay. Yep, you're right. So if we go like this, if I offset this way, I can do this way too. We go over 5. Okay, there we go. And then we go over this way, and we go over 5. Yeah, so when you build these things right here, it's just something you gotta pay close attention, as you see. And so it's something that you gotta work with. There we go. And so then you just kind of like, work this through and get the idea. And then I can use a cool command called fillet, which should work nicely here. All right, and then we do this and grab this and do that. Okay, so we can begin to do that kind of thing. So we got our dimensions like this. And so as you're working through it though, you just want to make sure that you are, you're connecting your different things and you're measuring as you go along. Just because if you are not where you need to be, it's going to be a pain to go back. So let me go back and measure the rest of this out, make sure I'm good to go. And this is just good CAD practice. As you go through here, make sure this is all right. And that's 7'7". And that is not right, so that's got to go offset that one incorrectly too. Which commonly happens when you're kind of like doing offset. Sometimes you'll assume one thing. By the way, that's a really kind of cool thing. The move command is a command that is kind of like, well, we haven't really done much to move command. Let me show you how move works. all these edit commands work the same. Move, copy, rotate, mirror, scale, they all work the same way. If I start my move command, and if I highlight those two, I wanna move those, and I'm gonna right click. Now what I wanna do now, it's asking me for a base point. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick a point on it right here. And then how far down do I wanna move it? If it's originally 7'7", it's gotta be 8 feet.
Five.
I got on 5, so I messed up by 5. And when I do that, my dimension automatically updates, because it's attached to it. Very cool. And so anyway, a couple different things there. Okay, so now my geometry is looking pretty good. I'm gonna go nuclear again with my trim, and just to clear out some of this stuff. Okay, and then I can use my fillet command to heal this one. Okay, now once I've got that together, let's just check this last dimension, make sure that we're good to go here.
The fill command was F.
Fillet command is F, yeah. It's F. And so you type in F with no radius attached, it's gonna go ahead and attach walls together like that. There's a couple of different ways you can do it too, but for right now, that's what it is. Now, I did the same in this law here, didn't I?
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Is it F enter?
It's F enter, fillet, yeah. Now, and by the way, it's not fillet, although it's spelled that, it's actually fillet. We had a big discussion about that when I was a young CAD guy. It's fillet, and it's actually fillet. Okay, now here, this is 13'6". Is that a correct dimension?
No.
What did I do wrong? I did the offset the wrong way. So what do? I can go ahead and grab it, and with my move command, I go ahead and grab these two walls, I right click, I choose a base point, I drag it in the direction I want, and how far does that have to go? That's right. All right, and then this right here, like I said, I use my fillet command, or if I just click on this right here, I can click and drag a grip. When it turns red, I can click and drag it like that. This is simple grip editing, like that. That's another way to do it. Might be a little quicker for you. And then down here, how would I get rid of this little piece of trim? Using the nuclear option, okay?